Now we are done with the select data from database table, and we have selected data from all the required tables. Now finally we'll do like moving all the data in single internal table. So for that we have created a table gt underscore list of type tp underscore list. So we have to move all the value in this table. So as I want to use two email ID and two mobile number, so I will just take a count variable here, data gv underscore count type I. Now just type here perform build data, type here perform build underscore data. You can give any name. Okay, these are user defined names. You can give any name for the perform routine. So I'm just giving the name as build data. So I'll include the same program. Now before moving data to the final internal table, first sort the data according to primary key or the required combination. So here I will sort the gt underscore lfa1 by listener. So I want in the ascending order, and remaining all table I will sort with by the address number, because I want to use the multiple records from those two tables, that is ADR6 and ADR2. So let's first sort gt underscore lfa1 by listener. Sort means it will arrange all the record in ascending order. Then gt underscore adrc by, here we have address number and we have ADR6 and ADR2. For copy this record, as next just type Control and D. Okay, Control and D. No need to sort the country and the state table. Now we'll get all the value in the ascending order here by listener and by the address number. So I want to make a loop. The first loop will be at LFA1. Okay, so here loop at gt underscore LFA1 into gs underscore LFA1 end loop. Here my first loop will be end, clear gs underscore LFA1. Now I want to move all the value to a internal table, that is gt underscore list. So first always clear the table. This is the body icon, and before moving the data I want to clear the work area, that is gs underscore list. So either we can use the move corresponding or we can assign the one by one value. Okay, so move corresponding means all the fields from this table will get transferred to the gs underscore list structure. Okay, so what I will do, because my field names are same, so I can use here move corresponding gs underscore lfa1 to gs underscore list. Okay, now the first field in my final is SR, that is the serial number. For that I have used this count field. This is the very basic concept without any oops knowledge, because this is the starting of my series of videos. programs. So those are very basic steps, especially for the beginners or the professional consultant who don't have any programming knowledge. They can initially use this concept for understanding the programming, like gv underscore count and gv underscore count 1. So my requirement is for every record I want to assign a serial number. So here what I will do, my gv underscore count equal to gv underscore count plus 1, and then after moving the record, what I will do, my gs underscore list serial number equal to gv underscore count. So for every new record of this table, when the loop, it will come inside the loop, this will increase by 1, and that value I want to assign the serial number. Now from the address table I want to reuse only single record. The address table, that is the gt underscore adrc, and here also my field names are same in the adrc table as well as into the final internal table. So I can make use of read table here because I want to use a single record. So before reading, clear gs underscore adrc. Now read table gt underscore adrc into the work area, that is gs underscore adrc. So here we have to give the read condition, that is with key. So with which key we want to read the value. So I want to read value with the address number. So I will type here address number equal to gs underscore lfa1 adr nr, because in the lfa1 table I have the address number. With that address number, that is the adr number, I want to fetch this adrc value, and here again I will write as move corresponding gs underscore adrc to gs underscore list. Okay, right here to read the address details. Now our country and the state will be from the adrc, which is move to the gs underscore list. Okay, I think we cannot use here move corresponding because from the adrc I have country and region of type line 1 and region, but in the gs underscore list for same I use that long tags, but still we can continue with that. So what we'll do now, we'll read the country. Okay, read country description. So my country table is gt underscore t005t. So here I will write again, if gs underscore adrc, that is the country, is not initial, and if then color the table work area first, that is gs underscore t005t, and now again write the read condition, that is read table gt underscore t005t into the work area gs underscore t005t here with key. I think we have land 1. Yes, my land 1, that is a country id equal to gs underscore adrc country. Okay, so I am reading here the country description by passing the country id, and here simply write now gs underscore list country equals to gs underscore t005t, because in this work area we will be having the value of country description. So I am going with, let's say, land x50, that is a long description of the country name. and similarly here I want to use the state. Okay, so state can be maintained only if we have mentioned the country. So inside this country if and any block, I will write another block to check if my state ID is not initial, then read the state description. So I will write as gs if gs underscore adrc, that is the region, is not initial, means my state ID is not initial, then I want to use a state description. So here write a clear gs underscore t005u. Here write read table gt underscore t005u into gs underscore t005u. Now this time with key. So here we want to pass the two key. One is the country ID and second is the state ID. Okay, so we have to pass the land one and the BL that's brand, that is the region. So here I will write as with key, that is land 1 equal to gs underscore adrc country, and I want to pass the state ID, that is bland equal to gs underscore adrc region. So based on this, from this table we'll fetch the state description and we'll simply write gs underscore list, that is the state equals to gs underscore t005u hyphen, just please control plus space, and we'll pass here the bezei, that is a state key. Okay, so check any error. So till now no error. Activate. Now we have to use the email ID and the mobile number. So my requirement is from one table I want to display two email ID 1 and 2. For that, this inside this loop I will make another loop on ADRCs. Generally when we are using the nested loop, that is a loop inside loop, we have to go for the parallel cursor method that I will be covering in the upcoming sections. So here I will be using the normal loop. So loop at gt underscore adr6 into gs underscore adr6 with key, sorry, not with key. Here in loop we have to pass the where. Again the same concept, which is the common field, where my address number equal to gs underscore lfa1 adr nr. Okay, so for this I have declared one more variable, that is the gv underscore count1 clear gs underscore adr6. Always before ending of loop, clear the work area in which we have the record. Okay, now here what I will do, gv underscore count1 equal to gv underscore count1 plus 1. Every time before this loop I am clearing the count. Now if gv underscore count1 equal to 1 when first loop, then my gs underscore list 1 email 1 will be gs underscore adr6 smtp underscore, why it is not coming, let me check, gs underscore adr6 incorrect position, let me comment. Okay, comment this. Let me check the ADR6 table. TP underscore ADR6. We have SMTP underscore ADDR. Okay, I have typed the work area wrongly, so now correct it. This is the ADR6. Open the uncomment it, where this is the email ID. Now for the first loop record, I will pass the email ID as the first email ID, and else if gv underscore count 1 equal to 2, when the loop count is 2, then I want to pass that email ID to the second record. So here I will write as email 2 equals to gs underscore adr6, again the same field smtp underscore addr, else I want to come out of the loop, so I will write exit. And if so, what this will do, this will make a loop at the gt underscore adr6 table. Here we will write the comment to read email address. Okay, so here the first email ID will get transferred to the email 1, and the second record on this loop, the email ID will get passed to the email 2, and for the third one it will get exit. Okay, now same table I will copy, and here we write as to read telephone numbers. So this time change the table to gt underscore adr2. Address will be same, the same concept con 1, but here we have item mobile 1, control plus space to get the hint, that is mobile 1, and here in the adr2 I have a field as tel underscore number. So this field I want to use here. Similarly my mobile 2 will be gt underscore adr2, and again I want to type here, that is a tel underscore number. Clear the work area, save and check if any error. The data gs underscore list has no component mobile 1. Okay, it is mobile 2 actually. I have typed mobile. Again save and check. This time no error. So finally we have read all the values. Okay, first we have moved the main value, then we have read the address, then we have the country description, then we have read the state description, then we have read the email ID 1 and 2, and we have read the mobile number 1 and 2. So finally after this loop we have to append the value, because all values till now we have into a gs underscore list table, which is the work area. So finally we have to write append gs underscore list to gt underscore list, because gt underscore list is the internal table that can hold a multiple value. In the work area we have the only one record which is used while performing the operations. Okay, can save, check and activate, no error. So finally with this we'll get all our value in this internal table gt underscore list. Okay, so here with this we have done with like moving all the data to the final internal table. So once we have all the data in the one single internal table, so we can display the output with 3 methods, like either with a write statement, or we can display the value with a class called cl underscore demo underscore output, or we can also display the record with the ALV report. So once we have our all the data in the single internal table, then we can display that data with 3 different methods. So we'll see how to display record now with the write statement and the CL underscore demo output. And when I call in the ALV report, at that time I will show the same report output in the ALV format. So now let's display the data. This is the bill data.